Let's see here. Let's see if this works. Oh, it does work. There you go. My girl.
Hey, Marvel.
How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing great actually. Each
Good.
day I'm definitely getting better and better. In the beginning, not so much, but I'm feeling a lot better now.
Good,
Just
good.
just just adjusting, honestly, just adjusting to the introvert that's in me. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody is somewhat introvert and somewhat extrovert. Maybe some more than others, but this is definitely trying times for everybody. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy to have you. Thank you so much for your time. So before we start,
Of course.
if you can please state your name, your occupation, what do you
Okay.
do, and then we'll get started.
Sure. So my name is Okalobi, and I'm a mental health therapist here in Florida. I started in Louisiana, originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, just moved to Miami about a year and some months ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, man, I really don't even know where to begin, honestly, because there's been a lot of turmoil. There's a lot of different emotions that's pretty much been going on, especially with the pandemic that's happening right now. You as a mental therapist, if you can just kind of give us the cliff notes of like what you have been experiencing and what you have been doing to help your clients go through this, and how, like, what's the magnitude of what they're going through right now.
Right. So just to give you an idea of the audience that I target, or the population, let me say that I work with. So I work with children, adolescents, adults, and geriatrics. So my geriatrics, they're mainly in group homes or independent living facility, and my adults and my children, of course, are in the community in Miami. Honestly, it's all been the same as far as what to expect and trying not to worry about certain things. For my adults, who a lot of them are without work,
Oh, really?
um, yeah, and
Okay.
just to manage life, trying to manage their bills and trying to see, okay, how am I going to survive? So right now, most of them have applied for unemployment, um, and really just waiting to hear something. So I know I recently talked to one of my adult clients yesterday, and she was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I talked to my landlord, I talked to this person, talked to that person. So her job didn't really lay her off, but they told her, we don't know when you guys will be coming back because her
Uh,
job is hands on. Right. So it's just that anxiety of just like, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to stay afloat? And then she has kids too. That's mainly what I've been trying to just help them like shift their mind to something positive or just keep their mind busy because we're kind of the world is all in the same space. Like
yeah.
we don't know what's going on,
Hmm.
right? And everyone is kind of making an educated guess on, this is when social distancing is going to stop, or this is what we can do to
Do you think
prevent. No
social
one actually
distancing will
knows.
stop though? Like, from a professional
Um,
standpoint, I don't think it's ever going to stop. I think it may lessen, but I think the
mhm,
interaction with humans is are definitely severely impacted by this. And I think it's not going to be until very long time until we get back to somewhat of normalcy. But that
mhm.
may be the normalcy though. Like, if you think
That
about
may
it.
be the new normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that may be the new normal,
I hope
and it's
not.
just I don't know. Me and everyone else were just assuming, hoping, um, being prayerful as far as okay, this could go this way and this could not go this way. So just more so just keeping your mind busy. Um, and I just been telling them like, the things that you didn't have time to do before when you were honestly like moving from one to the next and just being a complete busybody. Focus your mind and your time on that.
Mm.
And it's been helping, but it's just more so like, okay, finding something new to put my mind towards instead of just thinking about what's going on. And just honestly, just trying to get them in the mindset of we can't control what's going on. Like we're honestly unsure of what's the next move as far as this coronavirus. Like no one really knows what's going on.
Hmm.
And even for my kids too, a lot of them are like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to see my favorite cousin, or I don't know if I'm going to go back to school and see my classmates. And, even though they were having issues in school, they're now like, I want to go back to school. I want to see this teacher and that teacher. So it's like they're missing their normal. They're missing what was their reality at some point. So it's really honestly just calming them down and allowing them to kind of take this moment and just be with your family and, do things that you love to do and just put more time in things that you didn't have time to do. Because a lot of them, of course, are doing online school.
Yeah.
So it's really, it's something that you just have to just get creative and really just be positive and just understand that, like, you're not alone. And I think when people realize that they're not alone and everyone else is in the same space, whether, on different playing fields as far as your occupation and your economic status, it just gives them some type of comfort to know that I'm not alone. Like, everyone else is trying to survive at this point.
Yeah, I think even though that this definitely is a very, very traumatic experiences, like you said, one of the things that is kind of beneficial is that everybody is going through the same thing. And I think that's one of the shining hopes that we can pretty much hold on to is this is not something that we can't do alone. This is something that we have to do it together. We have to pretty much face it together. So you being a mental therapist and with your business and what you do, everything has pretty much shifted. Everything has pretty much shifted as far as, 'cause I know, you used to do one-on-ones, so how have you been shifting your business in order to pretty much accommodate, the times that's pretty much happening right now?
So as I guess you would say, medical professional, because it does deal with, your health in some way, some shape or form, as far as, doctors that go to the health, the therapists we deal with your mental health. Honestly, like, my purpose is just helping my clients. So even though, of course, I have to also be preventative as far as making sure I'm safe, making sure I don't hurt anything or whatever, that is, it has shifted in the beginning as far as me doing telemental health, which is just pretty much just contacting my clients either through FaceTime or through phone calls.
Got it.
And then I don't know if you paid attention, a lot of nursing homes and group homes and independent living facilities have been on lockdown. So just recently, certain type of people that will be there on a consistent basis have been able to come in.
Okay.
Even so even like if they are allowing them to have visitors or, relatives or whomever to come see that has been decreased.
Has that affected you?
No, not really, because
you are an essential worker, right? Are you, or
yeah,
I think you are.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am, because I mean,
we have to have a mental right. Like,
we have to have that right.
Yeah.
So I'm able to go in as far as seeing most of my clients, but for me, I have shifted because I know I have so many clients, like I said, from children to geriatrics. So before, I was seeing them face to face. That's how it was, direct face to face with my clients. And now it's like certain ones that I know that I can stay with you remotely, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
And those that I know don't have that access to be remotely as far as over the phone, then I'll go see you.
Got it.
And those are mainly the ones that are in independent living facilities.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
So one of the things I definitely like about you is that you're very, very insightful. You're very, very informative. Yeah, of course. I got you, girl. So, what insight and what advice do you give your colleagues right now? Because I feel there are certain people that are built for this, and there's certain people that are learning through this. I feel like you're one of those people who are built for this. So I think that you can definitely be the beacon of light for other mental therapists as well, too. That could be a good idea, by the way. To really give them hope and to pretty much, to give them therapy on how they can give therapy to their clients. So with that being said, what advice do you give your colleagues during this time to just pretty much fight through the mold? or fight to the full, let's just say?
And fortunately, it hasn't been many of them that I feel that I've had that type of conversation with.
Okay.
Maybe one or two here and there, but it's mainly honestly on just like your life, like I said, my work has shifted, but I'm still working.
Good.
So that's a blessing. So when I look at it, I'm just like, it could be so much worse,
Mm-hmm.
The position that I'm in. Honestly, I mean, I tell everybody, even my clients and non-clients, like everything starts with your mind. Like if you have the mindset where it's just, you try as much as possible to be optimistic. You try as much as possible to be positive. And people are like, okay, what does positivity look like? Because it comes in all shapes and facets. And I say that to say it's just mainly just pushing forward. You can't allow yourself to get in that space where it's just like, you start to worry. And we all know when you worry, that, that brings along fear,
Mm-hmm.
And it puts you in this space of just stagnation, and that's something that you don't want to be in. So really, honestly, just giving those tidbits on just moving forward and just being positive and just remembering that people are depending on you, and even if you have those moments where you feel like I need somebody that I need to talk to, or I need a moment to myself where I just need self-care, which is very important. Still implement self-care because you can get overwhelmed. Even when I see, on Instagram or friends that I know that are doctors or medical professionals, I feel for them, even though, I'm dealing with the mind and helping people, pretty much mentally check yourself constantly. They have lives in their hands. And yes, we all know about suicide, when you go through depression and you go through anxiety or you go through any type of traumatic event, it can lead to suicidal ideation. And that's something that you don't want to go, like that's a space that you don't want to be in. So honestly, it's just really just staying on that path of just positivity and knowing that you're not alone, understanding that there's people that are in worse situations than you. And it's just like, you just have to have that mindset just pushing forward. And that's just the best insight I can just give, as far as my colleagues. So like I said, fortunately, it hasn't been many of them that I have had that conversation with.
Here's the thing, whenever you do need to have they need to be okay with having that conversation with their colleagues, because this is a time where, for them to get their cup full and for their cup to pretty much run over, they have to actually have somebody else that's actually going through pretty much the same thing too. So it's not just talking. I feel like mental therapists need to pretty much uplift other mental therapists, and those are the only people that can pretty much help those professions. It's the same thing as as doctors, as nurses. Like a level of empathy has to be implemented like no other. And I think that's pretty much the keys of really just pretty much getting through this. So I got a couple more questions. Okay. So what is this, kind of like a staple of a question that I have for pretty much everybody? What is something that you are finding about yourself during this, I'm not going to say the buzzwords, during the situation that you newly found about yourself that you didn't know about yourself before this? Yeah, I know it's a good question.
I mean, 'cause, I feel like I know myself pretty well. Honestly.
Or something that's reinforced. Maybe something, it doesn't have to be something new, but maybe something that's reinforced.
Yeah. Just my drive to want to do more. My determination to know that even though what I'm doing is great, I still want to do more. And I know I have so many other creative ideas that I want to launch and I want to put together. And it made me really recognize that, wow, like you're never going to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that, and when I say that, it's just more so like there's always something to do. And I always reflect on, okay, everything that I've done yesterday, how can I add at least one more, or, um, do something extra the next day.
Got it.
So I just always try to compete with myself every day. Try to compete with myself as far as like, okay, I took this time to do this. Okay, let me put some more time in something else. And that's why I say, like, when I perform therapy on my clients, I try to help them understand the benefits of being in this space and not so much just focusing on the negativity or what we can control, and just like all the things that you wanted to do, or all the things that you in your mind was like, I don't have time for, but you put time towards something else, you have that time. And I even talk with them about, building closer relationships with their family members and just reaching out to people that, you in the past, because we're in this space now, in the past before coronavirus, it's like, oh, I haven't spoken to this person, I haven't reached out to this person. You now have that time to do so. And you can't really say I don't have time, because you would literally utilize all 24 hours of your day. And you just try not to get so comfortable, because you can get really comfortable being quarantined. Quarantine and chill, what I've been seeing. And you
definitely
try to step away from that, because you can get so comfortable and just, let time go by. So you just make sure that you capitalize on every time that you have within those 24 hours every day.
Yeah, definitely.
So I would say that. Right. Wait, go ahead.
No, I was saying that. No, that's great. It's funny. I actually, I know we gotta wrap up. I actually want to put this idea to you. I think that you and your colleagues should maybe develop some type of initiative where you offer mental therapy to the medical workers. Mm-hmm. I think that would actually be somewhat of a drive and somewhat of a like a positive push for them. Even though like. Listen, I always said that all you guys are in the medical field. You know what I'm saying? You, everybody else too. But just to have somebody of professional help to pretty much cope with and to compartmentalize what's going on, especially for them specifically, I think out of everybody, they're one of the people that definitely need it the most. Just as much as the people who are quarantined, the people who are pretty much literally facing COVID-19 in front of their face. They need the mental support as much as possible. So maybe that's something you can definitely spearhead.
Oh, of course. And like I said, of course, can't disclose information, but I have friends in the medical field.
Good.
Something as simple as, how was it? How was your day? How are you? How are you coping? How do you separate what goes on business and not take it home with you in your personal life? That is the main struggle.
Compartmentalization. That is probably the alpha and omega when it comes to all this. Yeah, definitely.
I definitely agree. I like that idea. I'll definitely push forward with that, and just kind of check in with other colleagues and see if they know other medical professionals, and kind of just put that out there.
Yeah,
and provide those services for them. Yeah,
definitely. So I know we gotta go, but it's all good. We were a little bit over time, but it's all good with you. So before we leave, I would love for you to give everybody your elevator pitch of what you do, because the main reason why I'm doing Convos with Bishop is because I am pretty much trying to drive traffic and more clients to the people that I'm speaking to. So the floor is yours.
Okay. So like I originally said earlier, I'm a mental health professional here in Miami, Florida. I cater to children, adults, geriatric, adolescents, and I perform psychotherapy. As of right now, I am doing telemental health services. I work for a private agency, Safe Future Behavior Health, which is located in North Miami. Should I give my number, or?
Oh, if you want, it's up to you. Whatever information that you want to share. You don't have to say it, but I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the bios. So whatever you feel comfortable with, or just your email. It really depends on you. We'll have a conversation off this so we can get your information. So
okay, definitely.
Or how about Instagram? Instagram is very important. So shout out you. What's your Instagram?
Definitely. So my Instagram is Chinelo, CHINELO, Veronica, VERONICA _ DM me whatever questions, anything that I can help, any services that I can possibly provide, as well as even referring as well, because we all need each other. Like,
Yeah.
this is the times where we just lean on each other and just help each other out in every way that we can.
Yep, this is the reason why we're doing this conversation, girl. So, Miss Chi, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for you. You know, I always consider you one of the top of the top when it comes to this professional network of mental health therapists. So, no, for real, thank you so much for this conversation, and we'll definitely be in touch. All right.
Definitely.
All right,
Thank
love.
you.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.